Can we not forget what Jameer Pond did yesterday? His extraordinary Lauryn Hill slander has the Black Coffee family buzzing. He said that Lauryn Hill's legacy was overrated, and we're not ready to let it go as a people, as a nation, or as a race. So keep your comments coming. Keep letting him know that he has hurt our community, and let him know that Lauryn Hill's legacy stands strong. Black Coffee starts now. Welcome to BT's Black Coffee. I'm Marc Lamont Hill, and my amazing co-host is Gia Peppers. Jameer Pond is also here, and our special guest is a host on Nickelodeon. She's on ESPN. You've seen her right here on BET, which is her home, but her home is MTV, where she hosts TRL. She is a beast. She is extraordinary. She is brilliant. She's beautiful. She's an actress. She's a media personality. She is Jamila Mustafa.
Get it.
I just didn't have enough room for my move. That intro.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm like, yo, we need, you guys need sound effects.
Boom. With our intros.
Boom.
Boing. That's a good idea.
Maybe that's next season?
Yes.
That's it.
You
That's
get your
what
big
we'll
one, you get the big applause and everything.
I gotta take off these damn glasses, I'm gonna be honest, because they're fashionable, but I really can't see. It's like part of me sees you.
It looks
part of
fresh,
me
though.
don't.
It's
I
just
know.
red.
But like I was saying, it's like the club. When
They
you
look
know
nice.
it's dark time, it's at night and it's dark, but you need to look fly, but you can't, I'm falling on it. I really can't see anything. So it's hard.
Casually take them off.
I don't want,
When you're ready to make a big point.
Well, okay, I'm gonna do it like Denzel do. You know when Denzel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it like
Yeah.
Denzel.
Okay.
All right, right now.
Here we
Okay, I'm
go.
chilling right now.
How y'all doing today?
I am good, man.
Right.
I'm happy. I've been obsessed with this old face challenge.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I saw your post this morning on the gram.
It looked like you with no
What did you
makeup.
say? Hide your grannies. What you say on the
I ain't say
gram?
nothing about
I
hide
thought
your
you said
grannies.
something about hide your grannies.
I did say that they will get this senior citizen work when I am 80.
Which is worse than hide your grannies?
Maybe it is. I'm just saying, it's fun. I've been going around the studio, taking pictures of everybody, showing them how they gonna look when they old.
Yeah, I look like Gary Day Morris, apparently.
Yes,
when
you
I
do.
be 80.
Uncle Jamie Foxx.
Jamie, where's my chicken gizzard?
I just look like me older.
That's good.
I look like I live on the vineyard. I have a home on the vineyard. My husband and I, our kids are grown, and
You
we're
look
just,
rich.
You know?
I think that's bad luck. It's like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it.
I'm taking your picture.
I'm scared.
I already secretly took it, so I'm gonna show it to you after the show.
That's creepy.
I realize how that sounds. I'm just kidding. I will take it later with your consent. If you don't, then we won't. All right. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode of Black Coffee. That's youtube.com/BET Black Coffee. Now make sure you do it before you forget, because we really want you to do it. We'll wait. Awkward pause. Now, today's question of the day. I'm being weird today, I know.
You are
a weird guy.
Today's question of the day is a serious one. It's a real serious one, because in our community, we're always taught to respect our elders, but sometimes we gotta ask, can black parents love the tough love? Can it be toxic? Can black parents' tough love be toxic? We're not talking about just our choice of punishments, but also the lessons we teach our kids in general, and also the way we get those lessons across. Make sure you drop your comments in, and we'll share your responses throughout the show. We really want to know what you think. I am excited to talk about that, because parenting is one of the things that we talked about when we said we're going to do Black Coffee. Uh-oh.
There we go.
I'm getting serious.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, no, we ain't gonna get heavy yet, though. We ain't gonna get heavy yet.
Right, because we do have a game. We like to play a game with all of our guests.
I can see you a lot better now, Jay.
Yes.
Now I can still see. I'm not gonna lie. I was creeping, and I wasn't with you on that Lauryn Hill. So I'm gonna just move over talking.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
we're coming back for that.
No, that's fine.
Lord, let it go.
I can't.
No,
I stand
said
with
what
Lauryn
I
Hill.
said.
I shout what
And I stand with Lauren.
All right.
She won't be there until 5 hours later. How about that?
That's a good one.
Hey, I know.
And another good one is the game we're about to play. One gotta go. So you know the game. That's on Twitter,
Yes.
social media. We give you 4 options, and then you pick which one has to go, and you tell us why. Okay? So we're doing Black TV Moms, since we're sticking with the Black parents today.
Black
Let's see what the
mothers.
options are for Jamila Mustafa. Okay.
Woo!
So it's really hard. Claire Huxtable, Harriet Winslow, Aunt Viv, or
The
Cookie
original one.
Lion. The original Aunt
First
Viv.
Aunt Viv.
Wow.
Which one gotta go?
I can't let Aunt Viv go to the first one, because she's already been booted off. So at least she can stay strong. They already gave her the boot. I can't do it to her twice. Claire, come on, it's 2 class. Just to be honest, Miss Winslow got to go. Because I'm just being honest. Winslow got to go. Winslow, too slow, got to go.
Thank you. Bars.
There we go.
I respect it.
I stand with Jamila Mustafa.
Thank you.
Because Claire Huxtable obviously can't go.
Yeah, never.
Never.
Cookie Lyon, I appreciate for nothing else. She kept her kids honest. She kept them tough. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was a balanced hood mom. And I don't like to we always want to get rid of the hood mom. You know what I mean?
Don't get rid of the hood mommy.
Aunt Viv is a legend.
Oh, a legend.
It was done dirty.
The dance scene alone.
That I was about to say.
Alone. We'll keep her for there forever.
And I hate Family Matters.
You do. I mean,
So-
we know what you're going to say.
So it made it easy for me.
I'm gonna agree. I think Harriet goes, and not because well, clearly, I mean, it's Harriet, but
Wow, it's crazy.
What's that mean?
that means that she's a lesser quality of she's like
Cookie
a
Mom ran a drug empire.
she's an off-brand
She's gonna
Claire
drag
Huxtable.
you on Twitter tonight.
Facts.
Yeah, she's an off-brand
She's
Claire
got 7
Huxtable.
followers, I'm sure.
Oh, come on. No, but here's
I
why
don't like Family Matters.
here's why Harriet
people.
here's why Harriet has to go.
Okay.
Steve Urkel caused so much destruction in that house.
Okay.
And wasn't not one person putting foot to ass. In fact, they let him have a transformation chamber.
That's true. In the house.
He threw a bowling ball out the window. He electrocuted her husband.
Almost lit the kitchen on fire.
Yeah, he let the kitchen on fire.
The kitchen was done.
They made a tornado, like in the crib.
That's crazy.
Didn't nobody put hands on Steve Urkel?
Right.
But to his defense, they were trying to prove a different narrative. Like Marc said, it would be stereotypical for her to whoop some ass. She was trying to let her
Blew up his crib.
But, hey, she was trying to be understanding. It was creativity. That's what she said.
He accidentally pushed her husband off a roof.
I can't.
Like,
No, he did a lot. He
she was mad trifling. He's crying.
At least don't invite him back.
And nobody shot the fair one with Steve.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think the consensus is in these 4 moms, Maria Winslow gotta go.
I think if we played the game with her, she knows she gotta go.
Oh, for sure.
She's gonna bow out gracefully. You know what? Thank you for even putting me in this category.
And she's a wonderful actress, Jo Marie Payton.
I love
she's
her as an
wonderful.
actress.
Yeah.
I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I hate the character.
Yes, you hate the character.
She's a wonderful woman, a wonderful
Yes.
actress.
Well, with the 4 moms and the way that the roles that they all played, she was definitely the one that had the least impact. Like they let her do her little Steve's. Like they didn't give her enough of a role to really make us be impacted by her character. Everyone else, we remember lines, moments, scenes. Everybody else was a star, was made to be a star. She was like, oh, that's cute.
Which is crazy because the show was made
based
after
on her. The spinoff.
I know, which
was based
sucked.
off of her.
She was the elevator operator in the Chicago Tribune on Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
And then they spun the show off about her family, and then the show
And then she
became an
never
Urkel
went to
show.
work again. Anyway.
Urkel stole that shine like it was his.
Exactly. That's why she didn't push him out that house.
Her husband almost died every episode.
And he was a cop.
He was a cop.
Like, he could have shut this down.
Yo, he was getting defeated by a 15-year-old nerd.
Oh my goodness.
Every episode.
They believed in his dream.
Yes.
They did. All right, y'all. So we do have to get back to the serious
Oh,
stuff.
thank you, Gia.
I'm glad you had a good laugh.
Oh, my
He
God.
cried.
Like he was a legit crying.
Give Marc some tissue there.
It's the outrage that Jameer has about this shit.
I'm so angry.
Like, you lived on the block. Like, you were really angry about this.
The house roof was blowing up every episode. Nobody
So
cared.
look, if you're doing something serious,
Sorry that happened in your childhood.
if you've been, let's take a moment.
You need help.
Take
You
a
need a
moment.
break.
Let's all just
breathe.
gather.
It's
There
him.
it is.
If you've been watching social media this week,
you
you've
are.
seen clips of Blac Chyna's new reality show, and the show shows some really troubling fights between Blac Chyna and her mom.
Yeah.
I want you all to take a look and get a sense of what we're talking about.
Nobody took care of your ass but me. I'm ready to get the ASAP after this.
5 days.
You put your hand in my face again, girl.
5 days.
You're going to stretch your across this mother kitchen. You better keep your mother hands on my face.
5 days.
Don't touch me no more.
Blac Chyna isn't the only one who's dealt with disrespectful, dysfunctional parents. We're going to talk about some of the people who have. When y'all see that video, though, that was kind of, I don't know, it made me uneasy.
Yeah, definitely.
We all have seen like how toxic their relationship is. Like literally, if you are on a person who's on Instagram, follow the Shade Room or Brawler Alert, you always see Tokyo Toni in a video talking about something, and usually it's about how she's mad at China. I think with them, they've had a toxic relationship for a long time, and I think fame made made it worse. So now that she has this reality show, Tokyo's like, cool, let's talk for real. And from what we saw, she did not want to do the scene. Blac Chyna was like, we need to have this conversation now. Let's have it for the cameras. And so the tension came and it just blew up. They did not actually go to blows, but what we saw was like a real mother-daughter dysfunctional moment bubble over. And so Chyna kept saying, you know, this is why you're not around Dream. This is why you're not around King, because you're crazy. Like, you're doing too much. And so it would be great for them to get some therapy, but I'm not sure that like they're out of a place of anger yet, so they can get to that place. So it's hard to watch, but as someone who's followed both of them for a while, and they are from DC, I do know.
Say that proud.
Yeah.
They are from DC.
There we go.
And so, you know, it's tough to watch, but that's unfortunately what a lot of our community goes through.
Yeah.
Not all of it.
And that clip, I mean, it reminded me, you see in this clip, so Chyna's, you know, she's very trying not to be argumentative, trying to, just in that clip, right? Not the full episode, but she's trying to push her off. Not even, you know, giving her mom the get out my face, which we all know is unacceptable, you know, but she's at least trying to do that. And that immediately reminded me of that viral clip last year when Chyna was in the car when she was dating Rob Kardashian, and she went nuts. And it's wild because those little things, right? Even if that's not your relationship with your parent or your friend, you don't know how things affect you. And watching how her mom was so aggressive and yelling without a care, it immediately, it just took me back to when Chyna was in the car, and I'm like, does she know that? Now let's take away how mature she is, right? Physically, right? She's a mature woman. She has 2 children. She's my age. She's 26, 25, 26-year-old. She's still a young adult, a child in certain senses. If you're 25, you know, you're still maturing. And so for her, it's just like Gia said, you talk about therapy, but we're talking about really understanding and breaking down generational, because the exact same way she blows is the same way her mom blows. And if she's not careful, no matter who's surrounding your children, King and Dream will blow the same way. Money, no money, circumstances, because that's in your DNA.
Right.
That's it.
And it was scary.
You pass on, I mean, you can tell, like, from just your point, you passing on generational trauma, right? Because, like, she's exhibiting the same kind of behavior that her mom exhibits towards her. So we notice that that's a theme in the Black community.
Right.
Like, passing on generational trauma because that's how you grew up.
Right.
Or that was expected. So if your mom whooped your behind, now you gotta whoop your kids behind. And I think it's different parenting styles, and you don't have to embody that generational trauma, especially if you're aware, you know it's toxic. If you have awareness, you should start to make the change in how you walk and talk and speak.
Yeah, we have some people who wrote in about what their experiences were. The main tweeted, my dad called me a slut when I stayed the night over a guy's house. I think I was 19 or 20. He came back and apologized, but you never really let go of something like that. Amaranth Amanda tweeted, my mom has called me heifer, bitch, fat, and dummy before. What kills me beyond that is that while my siblings acknowledge how toxic the behavior is, they still believe that one should respect your mother no matter what. And even Snoop's son, Cordell, he wrote on Instagram about how much he needed his dad to express his love. He wrote, I played football for my father because I thought that was the only way he would love me and be a part of my life. It took me 12 years to realize he loves Cordell Brodus, the person, not Cordell Brodus, the football player. The best day of my life was when I heard those exact words. I mean, that gets
4
you,
years ago.
Yeah, that gets you right in your heart. I mean, I think it's important to note that obviously generational trauma, toxic parenting, these things aren't just in the Black community, right?
Absolutely not.
Every community has them. But I do think that there are very particular things that the Black community struggles with as well.
Yeah.
Coming out of a legacy of slavery, coming out of our own abuse, our own oppression. I think there's ways that we navigate parenting, sometimes for good reasons, even if it's the wrong end.
Right.
So I think both things can be true. That there's specific Black issues, but it ain't every, you know what I mean? It ain't everybody.
Absolutely. And it's always interesting to see, Dr. Maya Angelou always talked about, like, in her household, if you said certain words, you'd be kicked out because she believed that words were things. And so it's always very interesting to see, like, the comment we got about, you know, the bitch and the fat and the dummy, like, the things that we carry with us. People might think that, like, whatever you say doesn't really matter, but that one thing that you said to your child could be the difference on how they walk into a classroom, how they do on a test. Like, I think we as people, forget parents, any of that. Like, if I'm saying something to you, we have to watch what comes out of our mouth because because you don't know what someone will take with them. Right. And so when you are the child's love and you are the first person they know, mom, dad, you are their heroes. So like, I don't have kids, but I imagine like, especially growing up, the ways my parents talked to me really helped me in my confidence and everything. So I would love, I hate that her mom, you know, called her that. But it's interesting with that respect factor. I wanted to talk to y'all, like, what do y'all think about that? Like, do you confront your parents when that happens?
I think you can. I think you should be able to at a respectful age. I remember I sat down with my mom and we had the discussion about why, you know, she chose to, you know, hit me.
Right.
You know, you get spankings and everything when you're younger. And, you know, she told me because, you know, like, her father got divorced. She was trying to raise a young man, and that's how she was taught. You know, so and she was like, if your father was here, I probably wouldn't have done that, but I was trying to keep you off the streets. So I think we identify that with kind of fear.
Right.
It's a fear of you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be in a gang, or fear you're gonna be on the street, fear you're gonna run like with the wrong crowd. And so I have to try to instill that in you the best way I can of, hey, you shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
But sometimes, and not my mom, but sometimes when you see like Tokyo Toni, it goes too far.
Right.
So as black people, we are taught to be resilient, and we taught to have a high threshold of pain. And so, you know, we can say anything to each other because it's building up character. I'm preparing you, but that's not healthy.
Yeah.
We're human, and so we carry all that baggage with us throughout, and that's what creates like the generational trauma.
So it's
And it's
spanking
no
out for
gap.
y'all? Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and it's no gap, right? So like, prime example, when I was younger, just looking at G's red lipstick. And I remember my dad, you know, he old school. So I remember when I could wear my little red lipstick, I wouldn't wear any makeup. You know, the first step you just put on your lip. And I used to rock the red lip. And they used to say, you out here looking like a Jezebel. And I was like, a what, Dad?
No, he went
You
biblical.
looking like a Jezebel.
Yeah.
You looking like a stank hoe Jezebel. And I was like, Dad, like, red, what is a red lip? What does that mean, right? So you talk about even history as to why things are said. Nightwalker. I didn't know what the hell that was. I thought it was part of, you know, Blade. You know, I'm thinking, I love Blade.
A vampire?
Sound like
A
it.
Nightwalker. I don't know.
Sound just
I mean, if y'all don't know, you know, you don't know those things. And so even when my dad would say that, part of it is ignorance. So it didn't mean anything to me because I didn't know what no Jezebel. I never associated that with knowing the history of it, a lady of the night and being promiscuous and the color red, right? So we go from being children and we're holding on to everything our parents say.
Yep.
Good, bad. If they say you're a bad kid, right? You think that you're bad.
Yep.
If they say you're stupid, even if they're, come on, man, you acting dumb. You know, come on, stop acting stupid. You know, even if they're joking, those things, right? And then it comes a split moment where you begin to mature, where your parents don't actually tell you, you're really not stupid when I say you're acting stupid. It's just, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Or I really don't, you know, now that you're 19, if you go stay at a boy's house, I know you're mature. So I don't really mean it when I call you a hoe. I'm just saying, you know, and it's no, there's no gap. From when you hold on to everything that your parents say and you believe it to when you're like, oh, my dad's just saying that, or I could wear red lipstick.
You don't know the
because black people and black parents, we're not communicative in that spectrum.
Right.
We don't believe
'Cause we're
that.
told.
Sit down on the couch. You know, my parents it would be a family meeting over anything. My sisters knew my business. Everybody knew. We don't do that in the black community. I'm not gonna say we don't. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often, and we just pass it down. So by the time Blac Chyna's 25, which is still young, her mom never probably stopped from when she was a kid. So now she's taken all of that into consideration, and she's heard it so long, whether her mom means it or doesn't mean it, it still hurts
ingrained.
the same.
Exactly. We got some more comments coming in. Saisha Allen on Facebook said, Black tough love is the best, period. I think what I want us to think about.
Whoopings.
What I want to think about is this idea of tough love.
Yeah.
Because I think part of what black people have been taught is that the world is so cold to us and so bad to us that we want to insulate our children, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to whoop your ass so you be scared of me so you follow my direction.
That's it. That's
so
the thing. Yeah.
it's kind of like what you were saying. And so if you follow my direction, then I can protect you from the outside world. That if you follow rules and order and discipline, the police won't get you. The so-and-so won't get you. And that becomes the logic of what we call tough love. And I think we have to be honest and say that tough love at some point is just abuse. That verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and physical abuse is just that. And no amount of appealing to slavery or racist police or the oppressive job market is going to make that any different. there is a way to parent without abuse.
Right. Yeah.
And we have to begin to own and accept that. There's a wonderful book by Stacey Patton called Spare the Kids that really gets into all the arguments of like what black people say, why they beat their kids and why it doesn't actually work. I think a lot of people should read that. Vertus Webb on Facebook said, toxic is how society has groomed us as black people. We as black people don't have a clue what master has done to us. Tia Poole on Facebook said, well, I think this younger generation needs more than tough love, period. Facebook said, LaShawn Nicole on Facebook, excuse me, said, love is not tough, nor is it abusive, mean, or nasty spirited. Tough love is people's way of hurting you while they help you. That's crazy and why I only deal with who God sends.
Okay, hallelujah.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that last point because I feel like there are so many ways to raise people, and I'll never be the person, especially not as a person who has not had any kids yet, to tell someone how to raise their children.
Right.
Because sometimes kids do come out, and like I remember being young, and some kids are really just bad. Like some kids are really just they come out, they want to hurt things. That's just who they are. And some kids do need a little bit extra attention. I think you have to figure out what works for your kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I got spanked. I never felt like it was too much. Like when I got spanked, I was acting.
You knew you did something.
I knew that I knew.
Let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Is there anything that could have been done when you're acting the fool, other than spanking you, that would have gotten you to not act
When
the
I
fool?
was young, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
not
I
sure.
don't know.
I mean, I'm just posing the
like
question.
when
Teenager,
I was like
bit of a
5,
dick.
6, 7, 8. I'm not sure that would have been. I'm not sure if I would have just listened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because your parents try to talk to you. They try to reason with you when you're a kid. They tried to reason with me.
Don't do
I was
that.
hard-headed. Hey, what I say? Don't touch
Don't
that.
touch that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Get out that toilet.
Okay.
They were doing all
Right.
that. They were all saying that. And then I didn't listen until my mom was like, you got one more time. And I would be like,
Was your mom? So, 'cause I think a lot of times black parents, and I'm not talking about your mom, I'm talking in general.
Right.
A lot of times, when we get to the point of physical punishments, it's because we're frustrated or
Yeah.
we're angry,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Do you
And that's
spank your kids? Or have you?
I've been thinking that in the back of my mind. You ain't said when you were
like Mark talking all this shit, he be going home like James Evans Sr.
And maybe not. Have you ever had to pop or beat your kid? And how did you feel? Because when I was getting beat, I felt like my dad didn't care. Like, does it hurt him to have to whip me?
I have.
Because I was getting beat.
I
mean, soft spanked.
right. She get. Right. I saw that he might be watching.
Like, soft spanked. I needed it. I needed
I
it.
wasn't beat, but mom's had a heavy hand. She ain't need nothing.
I
No
needed
belt,
it.
no nothing.
Get popped with a
My
remote.
concern about spanking my daughter has been that I don't want to normalize the idea of men being physically violent with her.
See, my dad never spanked us. It was always mom. Mom was the one that was like, yeah. Oh, you thought? And then dad was like, when I was in tears and sad because of what, the discipline, my dad would be the one to come talk to me and be like, yo.
So he was like Celia on the he's like, beat her. And then your mom would go beat her. You know what I'm saying? Like if you made it
That
bad with
was
it.
my family. My mom was.
No.
He wouldn't have your mom do the punishment if he was frustrated. Okay.
No. From what I understand, my mom was always the disciplinarian, especially with the girls in our family. My dad is a little bit more attentive of disciplining my brother.
Would he spank your brother?
Sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But it's not. But it's like out of respect because you are a woman.
He's not
He
gonna
never.
normalize
Right.
that.
He never.
Right.
He was very intentional about that. But my mom knew she had to be hard on me because I was a mean kid. Like I was mean. Like I was just stank. She was like, you're not gonna be like that.
Right.
And so she didn't necessarily do it in all circumstances, but when it was times where I was just wrong, flat out wrong, she would absolutely have to do that.
Do you think if you had a son that the discipline would be a little different?
I think no.
Okay.
Let me say it differently. It would be different, but I don't think I'd be like punching him in his chest or spanking.
There's a difference between spanking and punching.
Or spanking them. You know what I mean? I just know some men like punch their kids when they get older, spank the kids.
I've been popped in the chest before I grew because martial arts, and it's just different forms of, it's a tough.
You're a black belt, though.
Right. Well, yeah, so martial arts, we used to get with stomach, stuff on your stomach, but go ahead, excuse me.
No.
I still want to know how you were disciplining your daughter. I've been waiting to, what was your form?
My primary method of discipline is withholding things.
Okay.
Like you can't do this. If this happens, here's the consequence. if you do this, it's not just me. Her mom and I both do this, right? Like our belief is that, and we co-parent really well because we're on the same page. We communicate.
Right.
We don't let things come between us in terms of like, mom said this, dad said that.
Right.
All of that stuff is super
dope.
helpful. You know what I mean? And because we have such a good relationship, it makes it easy to have consistent punishment across the board. I'm not gonna say she's never been spanked, but what I'll say is our primary method isn't that. I mean, she's lost a cell phone.
Right.
And that's the end of the world.
Before you raise the hand.
I mean, raising the hand's not even at this point. I mean, she's also a teen.
Right, she's older now.
yeah.
You don't spanking after a certain.
But what I have found is that, in my experience, is that I don't think there's a time where there's not an alternative. And sometimes parents get frustrated, and I get that. But I think too often when I see people running up the street, beating their kids with a belt and all that stuff, it's because they're mad. It's not because the kid did something so egregious that the parent needs to be beaten. It does feel
Kid's probably being a kid.
right.
Yeah.
And it feels like slave shit to me.
Yeah.
See, I never had, again, I was never beat with a belt or anything other
Right.
than I got spankings from my mom.
beat with a belt.
And
Do you
she
believe
had
in
to.
public beating?
No,
Because
so-
when you talk
And that
about
was
that,
in
and that's
public,
another
private.
thing, what we do in public perception. And it's one thing if we do have to, pull out the belt, or maybe it's a culture thing, but when you said, as far as that really stuck out, do you believe that if we are going to do it, should black people particularly beat their kids in the supermarket or in public?
I got the church pinch.
The public.
Definitely got the church.
So there's the
With
old.
the lip curl.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Sister Johnson.
Let's go.
Connect.
All right.
I don't know what class they learn, because
I
as
don't
soon as
know.
you become a parent, it's like it just comes with
Oh, you just get the eye, the look.
The eye.
You start
Right now?
talking like this one.
and the kid be knowing too. I don't know how we know.
We
'cause
know.
We know.
They see that face change. Oh,
Right.
That's it.
But that's part of our collective trauma, right? Is that we can all laugh about the ways we've been beaten and tortured. I mean, literally, we're literally laughing about how in church someone's taking their fingers, digging them into our skin, and twisting it until we do what they want us to do. I mean, it's just interesting. But there's the question about public shaming. I'd be curious to know what y'all think, because now on the internet you see all of these
I hate
memes.
that. I hate
you know,
that.
he want to act like a grown man, so I'm gonna give him a grown man haircut, and then you see the kid
No, I hate
getting a
that.
baldy, except for on the side, looking
It
like George
ain't funny,
Jefferson.
but come on.
No, I get the humor of it in terms of the Instagram, but that or the parent that has who has the kid wear the sign saying, I stole $5
Yeah.
from my, and now you
No,
want to
but see,
think.
that's
Is that a better
I'll
method,
be the
though?
main one. When I be sitting in there, I be the main one. Them Thanksgiving memes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the first one laughing. I'm not,
I
because
get-
it's true though. It's not right, but it's
But
true.
it's public shaming.
That's why I don't like the public
is.
shaming
Okay.
aspect
I don't think
of it.
public shaming
It is,
is
I
but
don't think
it's
that's
true.
necessary, especially if the kid is 5 and is not on social media. You're literally shaming them for no reason other than other people's entertainment.
Right.
So for me, if that kid is not going to learn something from that, then really, what is the actual point of you posting them with a sign that
If they
says
don't
this?
have grins.
Because
Or a crazy haircut.
or like
Right.
yeah,
You're
the
humiliating the
crazy
person in front of millions.
Right.
I mean, literally millions. The
And
whole
then
internet.
if it goes viral for no reason,
That kid gotta be the George Jefferson
Or parents are
haircut
getting
kid.
ideas. Like the one kid, all he cared
Right.
about was Jordans and this. So the mom went out. She was like, it was a whole document. She documented it, and he started crying, and she would make him wear this outfit. Just bobos, as we used to say back in the day, the bobos, the Hanes tee, plain. But it taught him. He started crying, and then the next week it was like he enjoyed it. So then other parents were like, I'm gonna try this. So it's good
that
and
I
bad.
can deal with.
Right, you
because-
could do, but it's good and bad.
Because he
is.
was older though, and he had a social media presence, and he was making fun of the
He was
kid
still a
in
kid.
his
Right.
class who did not have Jordans.
And so he got him revoked.
So
It's a good lesson.
That is a lesson to me, because that makes sense, because you're seeing how it feels to have people make fun of you. I don't love that it's public. I still don't love that it's on social media, because nothing gets erased from social media. But what I do, I understand that logic, because if you're gonna make fun of people, let's talk about making fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and that's where kids are now.
Exactly. We got a couple comments coming in before we wrap. Angelica George tweeted, I know it's black coffee, but anyone's parents can be toxic. It's not just a black thing. I need people to understand that. And that's what I was saying earlier. We all agree with that. We're just talking about our very particular circumstances culturally, because in a black show we have the opportunity to talk about our issues in ways that other shows don't.
Well,
but no doubt, all of America has a challenge parenting. Sandy Darby on Facebook said, tough love is necessary to bring out the best of a person. Sometimes we do lose our way, and this helped to bring us back to reality. I think we all agree. I think tough love isn't the issue. I think discipline's not the issue. I think the question is, what's the line between discipline and abuse? And that's the conversation that we've been having.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move to something a little more positive. I want to. I want to make sure we celebrate people on the show.
Yeah.
Specifically
Let me put my
black
glasses back
women.
on.
Put
Yeah.
your
I
glasses
feel like
back
we need
on.
glasses.
Because this
Sensitive
for the
lighting,
black
y'all.
women. We do a segment here called So Melanated. And today,
I like when you do
want to
that.
highlight Miss Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay, what can you say about Ava? I mean, she's a wonderful director, producer, a visionary.
Genius.
And as of today, you gotta put 16 Emmy nominations behind her name for When They See Us. Ava DuVernay, you were so beautiful, so smart. You tell our stories with so much conviction. You stand on your platform and you choose to tell non-monolithic stories about us. You make us believe that we could be anything with giving us the harsh truth that sometimes people look at us as nothing. And what you do and how you inspire me has been great. I mean, we follow each other on Twitter. Let me just say that first.
Right back. I like
but
that.
I love that. But, you know, the fact that you were here, you were in the community, you were present, and you were telling these stories while looking beautiful as ever. I don't know who does your locks, but give them a high five for me. Ava DuVernay, you were so genius, so beautiful, so melanated. Continue to shine like the skin of Keisha from Belly. That's
Beautiful, LeBron.
Ava!
Well done.
Thank you.
The fact
That was the best intro I've ever heard her get.
That was impressive.
She
fact
needs to
that
cut
she
that
was
clip.
able to
I think so.
And pin it on her Twitter.
16 Emmy nominations for When They See Us.
Yeah.
Such a painful story, but one that was so important. I'm just so proud of her and all that she's been able to accomplish because she was starting out as a publicist in the game.
Right.
And now
Didn't
she's
pick up
like
a camera until her
At the
30s.
top of the game.
Right. So that's so great to see her continue to push and just break boundaries. And of course, you know, Beyonce got 6 nominations.
Beyonce
of herself.
has 6 noms, yes.
Emmy nominations for Homecoming, which is incredible. I believe
That's amazing.
Best Director was in there as well.
She's gonna get an EGOT.
Okay.
She's on her way.
Now,
She is
now
on
before
her
we
way.
talk about Big and that and the album, going back to Ava, everybody went crazy with Game of Thrones because they did lead in the nominations for the Emmys. But when you talk about Netflix, this is going to be a really big thing because Netflix, especially at the top of 2018, they really took a leap. Let me take these off.
Take them off, Denzel.
Thank you. I'm trying to get my glory moment. Invested in black culture. And I think that this shows exactly what Gia said. One, blacks can lead Ava DuVernay. That means put more money into her projects.
Yes.
2, the idea of narratives like this, depressing narratives, as some people say, isn't really good. And I think that this just shows that she can really pull it out. And I know for sure she better walk away with something.
She better walk away
Because
with
it will be
14. I need at least 14. If y'all listening,
Emmys.
we need 14 out of 16.
Absolutely.
And
for
the
her.
young actor.
Jarrell Jerome,
Absolutely.
and the younger kid. He's the youngest nominated at 17. The youngest nominated Emmy.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the
Shout out to everybody.
Come on, no black
Exonerated
people.
5.
And we'll be
This
talking
is gonna
about
be
more of this in the refill and so much more. But Jamila, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And we got to make sure you
Sip
check her out.
coffee. Hold
Yeah.
on, I got a treat.
Sip it. You got the mustache.
We got the mustache.
Hey.
We love it. We love it.
Mustache on deck. Hold on, gotta add the shades in the mustache.
Put the shades on.
Okay,
There you go.
I'm ready for the outro, Mark. You know you get about intro, outro. Which one?
Okay, make sure you watch the legendary
Yes.
Jamila Mustafa.
Yeah.
On TRL, Saturdays, 10 a.m. The greatest TRL host in the history of TRL.
Let's go.
Let's
I have
go.
to do my infamous split. It's
gotta
just
say-
no room.
Yeah.
Next time, you go do the split.
Oh, wait.
Now
Shout
we've
out
done.
Buster Split.
There's a split on
That
my
has never
foot.
happened on Black Coffee before.
Okay, I gotta help you out.
I don't know if she can get up.
There you go.
Help me out.
Black Coffee fam, please stay with us for the Twitter after show. It's called The Refill. I want you to make sure you watch this because we have the honor of talking with Win Carr, Eric Garner's
Yes, man.
wonderful
Yeah.
mother.
Oh,
We're going to
wow.
be talking about the Department of Justice's failure to deliver justice in her son's case. You definitely want to be part of this conversation. So send us any questions you have, and we'll be right here. Use the hashtag Black Coffee Live. In the meantime, remember to subscribe to our YouTube page so you never miss an episode. I want to thank you all for joining us. We'll see you soon. Yo, that's split.